Let me ask you something. I'm just curious. A question popped in my head. Out of officials in sports, basketball, football, baseball, and hockey, are they equally paid?
You know something, Frank? I can't give you an honest answer in that. To be perfectly honest with you, the pay structures of Major League Baseball or basketball or football, I really honestly couldn't tell you. We were never, we were never ever. I don't know if anybody's aware of it, but we were never ever paid like hockey players were paid. It was a comfortable living for the average Joe. We had a nice per diem, and it's the pension now for the officials is more than reasonable. So, but it was a comfortable living. But I'll tell you, my top salary I retired after the 2004 season, and my salary was $200,000 a year, and playoffs were extra. Every round you worked was another $15,000.
So that's a comfortable. That's in the upper echelon. It's upper middle class. That's good money.
The minimum, the base salary now for the average salary for an NHLer is what, $1.2 million now?
But the average salary, the minimum is about $6.
Yeah,
600.
So believe me, I'm not complaining, but just make you aware that it was nothing like a hockey player was making.
No, and nor should it have been.
Okay, let me ask. So how come you never wore a helmet?
It's really ridiculous why I didn't. I worked 33 years. I refereed, worked the lines in 2,500 playoff games and 426 playoff games, and never missed a game in 33 years. If you got time for a quick story, I was lucky enough in 1998 to be picked to work the Olympic Games when that was the first year that the National Hockey League got involved in the Olympics, and they used all the NHL players. And we were having meetings in Toronto discussing they were using international ice hockey rules and not NHL rules. So there's quite a few changes, and I guess Phil can speak to that too. But Rennie Fazell, who was the big muckety-muck for the International Ice Hockey Federation, was conducting the meetings in Toronto. And at one point he goes, and the officials will wear a helmet in the Olympic Games and a visor. So I put my hand up, and he goes, yes. I says, Mr. Fazell, I says, I've been in the league 28 years now, and I've never worn a helmet. I said I prefer not to wear one in the Olympic Games. He goes, oh, no problem, Ray. You don't want to wear a helmet? I goes, no, I don't. He goes, well, then you won't work the Olympic Games. I goes, oh, I says, I'll grab a medium on my way out.
But it was just because you were used to it, and that was the end of that?
I really can't even give you a good reason. It's really ludicrous that, you're out there in a rink 200 by 85, and guys are, the size of Phil Esposito, 220 pounds, shooting the puck at 90, 100 miles an hour. And, if it's a choice of getting the puck out or not hitting you, you can bet your life they're going to hit you with the puck. So, for me, it just turned out to be dumb luck that I never got hurt in 33 years.
Except for the punch you took, when you tried to break up a fight and you took a pretty...
Obviously never on purpose. Or
employment
or, the 20-game suspension. But, yeah, I've been hitting some wayward fights. But, the easiest fights to break up are the heavyweights. I mean, you guys are all around the game of hockey. The heavyweights, your Wendell Clarks and your Proberts and your Ty Domies and your, LaRocques. I mean, these guys get their licks in and then they stop. Like a guy like Lucic, they get their licks in. As a linesman, you say, you guys done? And they break up as easy as heck. They're really easy to break up. The guys that give you the aggravation are the guys that don't fight a lot and they want to get that last lick in. But, yeah, I've been hit with the odd punch, but none of them could put me down.
I've often thought, Ray, that the best thing that could happen there, and you were the best, along with Johnny, at breaking up fights, but I often thought, why don't you just stand back and let them go?
This is Bill, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Ben.
Yeah, Bill, in all honesty, we do let them go. There's only three criteria when we break them up. One, if a guy's getting beat up pretty good, we get in there immediately. And when they fall to the ice, we break them up immediately. I guess there's two criteria.
That makes sense.
If they're going toe-to-toe and wailing away, we don't get involved at all.
I guess not. You'd get one right in the lookers.
Yeah, but he got one. He got one from a New York Ranger player. He was trying to break it up, and the right cross, the guy ducked, and Ray got it. Ray, you being in the league for such a long time, you saw it evolve too. You saw it from a very major sport in Canada, but a very minor sport in different parts of the United States, to becoming a very mainstream accepted professional sport now. because you retired in 2000 and change, right?
Yes, 2004.
So you already you saw it evolve into.
I went through like 4 decades of the game of hockey. And Phil was on the ice in the era of the Broad Street Bullies. I mean, who had more brawls than the Boston Bruins and the Philadelphia Flyers? I mean, in those days, when a fight started, there was no such rule as a penalty for emptying the bench. So a fight started, you just looked over your shoulder, and 15 other guys were coming over the boards. So the game has evolved. It's always getting better. The players now are training 12 months a year. Equipment weighs absolutely nothing. Skates weigh nothing. They shoot it as hard as anything. They're going around, as I mentioned, with 6 and 7 and 8% body fat. I mean, the game has evolved. I mean, could a guy like Phil have played in this era? Absolutely. Some out of Phil's era probably couldn't play in this era.
100%. But Phil Esposito was one of those guys that he would take abuse, and he invented the slot. Nobody knew what the slot was until Phil turned that area into the slot. There was no reference that was called the slot.
No.
And Phil always decided that he would take all that kind of abuse, and he was a big guy, but a lot of guys won't take that abuse for a goal. They won't go in that area there and take the whacking and the stuff that goes on there. Let me ask you something. In 33 years, you had your favorite guys, guys who knew you, and you created a relationship. It's a long time, right? And there must have been a couple of guys that gave you a rash that were just not nice people.
The toughest guy, I prided myself in getting along with the players. If you can get along with the players, your job's a lot easier. They might question you on a call, you give them an explanation, and because they have some respect for you or they like you, they'll accept that. But the toughest guy that I couldn't get any respect from, and maybe to this day, I don't know, you may have to ask him yourself, was Bob Clark. He was a tough man to deal with. You just couldn't talk to him. I threw him out of a face-off. One night. Just a routine. Just throw him out of the face-off. He got up. He looked at me, and he goes, "Why don't you just drop the puck?" He says, "Nobody came to watch you tonight."
Yeah, that's Bob Clark.